I'm Sam with the City of Aurora, and today we're at Ballydoyle Irish Pub and Restaurant. With over 80 whiskeys at the bar, food made from scratch, and the classic Guinness pour, Ballydoyle is your destination for a foot-stomping good time. So let's go check it out. Hi Phil, welcome. Thanks for sitting down with us. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are and your relationship to the place?
Sure. We're at Ballydoyle in downtown Aurora. And we have Ballydoyle here, as well as the Packard Room and the Loft 28 West, which is a wedding venue. Ballydoyle is an Irish pub that we opened in 2009, right on the river with back deck and everything. And then the Packard Room, we transformed the front of the building into the Packard Room, which is a smaller event space. And then we built out the top floor as the Loft Wedding event space.
Each location, each space within the building is really unique. And the first thing I noticed when I walked in here was the decor. We got stained glass windows, faux candelabras. Can you tell me a little bit about the decor in here? Was it upcycled, and how have you sort of given it new life?
25 years ago, my brother and I took my parents to Ireland for their 50th wedding anniversary. Fell in love with it, and I had a big corporate job and enjoyed everything. And I went to a place called Johnny Fox's Pub, which is just out of Dublin, and fell in love with the Irish music and the Irish dance and the food. And as I was walking on, I turned to my brother and I said, I'm going to open a pub that time in Downers Grove. So 21 years ago, we opened the pub there. And then 2009, we opened it here in Aurora. But the unique thing about this and the cool thing about Ireland is that they embrace the past. So everything you see here in the pub has been reclaimed. I mean, there's really nothing new. I mean, all of this bar came out of an old church in Dearborn, and the booths came out of old restaurants, and the walls and the windows came out of old churches in Iowa.
So the Irish pub is a very classic aesthetic. Like you said, there's a lot of nostalgia associated with the look and the feel. But what makes Ballydoyle, either in Downers Grove or in Aurora, different from other Irish pubs maybe in the area? What's the special sauce in this building maybe in particular?
Well, it really isn't. It's not what we think an Irish pub is. It's really what an Irish pub is. When you go to pubs in Ireland, there are a couple of things. Number one, it's a gathering place. So there's old, young, and in between. There's kids running around. There's older adults. A lot of mix of different types of people. Plus, everything is old. So it's not brand new. It's not shiny and clean and all this kind of stuff. It's rugged. And that's kind of what Ballydoyle is about. It's got a lot of history behind it.
Are there any Irish recipes or food that you grew up as an Irish household that have maybe found their way into the Ballydoyle menu today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. So on my dad's side, he's 100% Irish. And on Sundays, I can still remember as a kid looking up in the kitchen and seeing 6 Irish women with their aprons on doing all the home cooking. And then my mom's side, she was a short order cook at a truck stop. So 3 o'clock in the morning, she'd get up and do her thing. And then when she'd cook for us, she'd cook everything from scratch. So we'd go out and gather the eggs. And so I learned at a young age, just from being around all those cooks, how to cook. So all the Irish stuff and the things that we do here at the pub, they're not fancy, they're not foo-foo, they're real simple, but they're all homemade, and they just taste good and very consistent.
So the average person walking down the street who may not know a lot about Irish fare, they might think of 2 things when you ask them about Irish staples, and that's Guinness and whiskey. So can you tell me how those 2 things come to play here at Ballydoyle?
Well, let's talk about whiskeys. So legend has it that the Irish monks are the one who invented whiskey. What they did was they distilled whiskey with the grains, And originally, it was for medicinal purposes.
Mm.
So it was called in Gaelic Ishkabaha, which is the water of life, or whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And they would take it for colds, they would take it for headaches. If their bones were feeling bad, they'd take it. And then all of a sudden they decided, well, it's more than just medicine because it makes us feel good. So then they started drinking whiskey as a beverage, and it became whiskey or the water of life.
Do you ever have patrons come in that maybe don't know where to start? Maybe they know Jameson because it's pretty commercial, it's pretty out there, but they want to mix and match a little bit and get their feel of Irish whiskey?
What I always suggest is start with Irish whiskey because it's a little different. It's a little easier to drink because it's distilled 3 times. So it's triple distilled. So it goes through these big copper kettles 3 times. And as you distill it each time, it gets rid of those impurities. So it's a much smoother drink. So if you're going to drink whiskey for the first time, it's best to drink Irish whiskey. Kind of gets you used to it. And then you can go back to, or go on to bourbons, American bourbons.
What if we're not quite ready for water of life? We want something a little smoother, perhaps. We want that classic Irish beer, Guinness. Tell us about Guinness a little bit.
If you come in and get a Guinness and you order it and they don't do a 2-part pour, you have to send it back. Fergal Murray came to us first. He was the master brewer at Guinness. Came to the States, and we were one of 3 places he came, showed us how to do it, and then rated us as one of the pubs that poured a perfect pint of Guinness. And that takes 2.5 minutes about to pour a Guinness. So what you do is tilt the glass, you pour the Guinness 3/4 of the way, then you set it aside and let it what's called cascade. So all the nitrogen escapes and sets the head of the Guinness. And then once the head is set, then you push the handle forward and just add liquid to it and then crown the head of the Guinness. So it's a perfect pint of Guinness.
How do you make sure that everyone who is behind the bar at Ballydoyle is trained and equipped and knows how to do the perfect pour?
They know. Yeah. First of all, I have a guy who has been with me from the beginning, Jeffrey Geary, who's from County Cork. And actually, he's the guy that teaches everybody. And you have to go through those. And then I come in all the time and try a pint. If it's not right, I'll send it back and show them how to pour it.
The perfect pour sounds really great, but I think I want to see it. So maybe we should get back there.
Yeah,
do the perfect pour.
That's perfect.
All
Sure.
right. All right, Phil, we're in the kitchen. Can you tell us what your amazing wait staff is preparing behind us?
Sure. Well, first of all, because we're Irish and I've been doing this 20 years, and I had a grandmother that did all the cooking, and I cooked with her. The Irish fare, is going to be great. We have boxed teas, fish and chips, corned beef sandwiches, corned beef dinners, bread pudding. But today we're going to do everything but Irish. And the reason we do that is because when I first opened, I had a lot of Irish dishes. And there's only so many times you can have a corned beef sandwich.
Sure.
So as time goes on, everything's evolved into, we have beef stroganoff, we have chicken parmesan, we have a lot of things, especially since we have the Paramount down the street. And it's really a meat and potato crowd, and that's what we try to do. Everything that we make is real simple, nothing complicated, nothing fancy. But when you get corned beef, it's the same every time. The sandwich is done exactly the way my grandma used to do it.
I was going to ask you about Grandma Cullen because I know her influence looms large in this building, in this endeavor. So are there any recipes besides the methodical nature of preparing the ingredients? Is there anywhere where her influence, maybe anything she taught you growing up that lingers on the menu still?
Well, she told me, and she cooked corned beef.
Yeah.
And it was an every Sunday thing. And then the bread pudding, all my aunts did the bread pudding. And then the box tea is like a potato pancake.
Yep.
And you fill it with different toppings like corned beef or vegetables or fish, and that's what we do here. So it's like a potato pancake. My grandma used to do that. So a lot of those things we still do today.
Well, it sounds great, it smells great, and I can't wait to try it.
Perfect.
We should go check it out.
All right.
Okay, we have an amazing spread in front of us, but if you had to choose, what are you ordering?
I would probably get the beef stroganoff because I grew up with that, but I do like the angel hair pasta too.
Not many people would expect stroganoff on the menu at an Irish pub.
No.
But that just goes to show how diverse the menu is.
Right.
We've got Mediterranean wrap, I know is one of your favorites. Potatoes are obviously presented deliciously, but you have to do potatoes right.
A little thought, yeah. Right.
Yep.
And the spaghetti and meatballs over here. And the Angus burger we talked about, it's black and blue, it has blue cheese on it. And then this is killer because it's the adult grilled cheese. So if you're
I don't think it's big enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not sure about that. And then obviously we have our Guinness, which you've already dove into.
I have. It was a perfect pint.
But it was too good. We had to dive right in. And what do I have in front of me? Do you know?
Yeah, that is a chocolate martini.
Ah.
Sergio made that especially for you.
Okay, so this is a dessert drink for sure. And we'll go with the beautiful, this is a pizza cookie, right?
Right.
All right.
With ice cream on top.
Amazing.
Freshly baked. So it's good.
Well, it looks beautiful. I can't wait to dive in. And I'm so excited that you sat down with us. Thank you for telling us all about this amazing building. I think people who are walking down the street and want to check out Ballydoyle will find that there's more to meet the eye.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Can you close us out with a bit of an Irish toast?
Oh, I sure can. Everybody raise your pints. There you go. There are good ships. There are wood ships. There are ships that sail the sea. But the best ships are friendships. May they always be. Sláinte.
Sláinte.